Ow.
Alright guys, for today's video, this is a battery. It is a chemical compound inside of here that stores energy. It dissipates and expels that energy at kind of a steady rate, and it gets worn out over time as it gets used and depleted. And this is all chemical based, and the chemicals, depending on what it is, either lithium or nickel metal hydride or silver NiCad or silver oxide, whatever the battery system is a chemical reaction in here that turns the chemical energy into electrical energy. This is a capacitor. This stores energy in an electric static sort of system where you have, just imagine two plates opposite of each other with the electrical charge inside of it and a dielectric insulator in the middle of it. This stores energy every certain amount. It has a lower resistance than a battery, and when this discharges, it discharges its energy at a much quicker rate than the battery does. Okay? This is a battery. It is a chemical compound inside of here that stores energy and converts that chemical energy into electrical energy used to start up your car. It drains down and it kind of maintains the same sort of energy level as it is draining down until it gets too low. All right. This is a capacitor. It stores energy in an electrostatic state with about two plates on either side, isolated by a dielectric buffer inside of it. This has a much lower resistance than a battery, and it discharges its energy at a much faster rate. So, as you can see right here in the name, it's a super starter. And what I mean by super starter is that this is a capacitor that gets juiced up. It holds the capacitance in here, the energy, and it sits in line between your battery terminals, that when you go to start up your car, instead of the car going and trying to draw directly off the battery and using up the battery energy as it goes, it will initiate from this capacitor first. The capacitor will discharge and it will send the power through the circuit here in the battery down to the starter to start the car up. This, in essence, is a way to try and extend the life of your battery. Okay, now this was sent out to me by Ancel. It asked if I'd like to check it out, so I said sure, send it on over. And what it is as I just stated, it is essentially, imagine that if your battery is sitting at 12 volts or anything like that, when you go to start up the car, it will initiate off of this and it won't really touch the battery unless it takes a long time to start up. And then it will draw all the power out of this quickly, as fast as this will drain down before it will initiate and touch the battery. So in essence, what this does is this kind of isolates the battery from the system, from the rest of the car, to extend your battery life and give you extra juice as it starts up. That's it. It's that simple of a concept. This goes in line there, and since that capacitors have a much lower resistance than batteries, the electricity, just like water, will follow the path of least resistance, and it'll flow through here first, charging this back up for the next time you need it, and then it'll just continue running the car as it goes. Like I said, Ancel sent this out to me to check this out, and we are going to install it right now, and it's going to be super quick. Watch this. I'm actually going to move this positive over to the same spot behind the post here. There you go. It's that easy. So the most difficult part with this will be finding a place to mount the actual capacitor itself. Going to be totally dependent on every sort of vehicle. I have it sitting right here in the extra space I have in the battery box here, and I will just kind of, you know, tuck these cables over here and attach it, because this kit here comes with like little Velcro self-adhesive tie downs, and this is going to be, it's all going to be dependent on what your actual vehicle is and where you're going to route this and mount this and all this if you try this out. But that is it. Let me back it out here a little bit. There you go. So as it sits right here. So now we are in line between positive and negative. It is flashing up because right now the battery itself is just juicing up the capacitor. And then whenever you go to start the car, when the capacitor is juiced all the way up, it'll pull from the capacitor first before it draws from the battery. Now I should say that this is been tested, so per their literature, that these have been tested up to 100,000 start cycles. So I mean, 100,000 starts, that's a lot. You could catch up to 100,000 starts much faster if you have one of those vehicles have start stop on it, which you do. Figure out how to turn that off, because that is, first of all, it doesn't save you any money, and all it is just extra stress on your charging system and starting system. And turn that off if at all possible. But if you do leave that on, like, this would take the stress off of your starter and your battery every time you have to start the car up, or for keeping that running. Now this is supposedly good down, this will work on your battery as long as your battery has at least 5 volts in it. These are 12 volt batteries. Is a 12 volt system. When your car charges, it runs about 14 to 16 volts with the alternator to make sure it recharges up, plus having the extra voltage to run all the electronics and stuff in the car is needed. But as long as you have about at least 5 volts here in your battery, you should be good to go, and this should be enough to help kick it over, to turn over to start. Now, as cars, when they sit for a longer period of time, the battery will start to discharge itself down. That's why they have trickle chargers and stuff like that, and I made a video trying to show you how to extend the life of batteries that aren't in use all that much. What this will do, because a battery will drain down because of just the way a battery is, a capacitor will not. The capacitor will hold that charge the entire time as it sits there and waits. So this kind of bridges the gap between a battery getting low and then this still being able to start up to then be recharged by the alternator. As long as you have 5 volts, it will help kick you off. This can actually be used as like an emergency kind of starter deal, where you have a manual discharge here, or there's an app that goes with this, and I'll just put a little bit of that on the screen. I'm not going to run the app. I don't care about any apps, but you can use the app to monitor your battery health, your the charge in here. You can use the app to actually force it into a forced discharge to try and help jump start the car if need be. And yeah, I mean, that is it. There's really no way to demonstrate this to you right now, because all we're doing is just starting the car. So I mean, it's not a way to demonstrate it. Ideally, the way I would have been able to demonstrate this was if I had this in the winter and I could hook it up to the Z and showed you, because the Z, you know, it sits around, and I drive it like maybe once a week, but in the winter, you know, when batteries get cold, they discharge much faster. So I'll come out here, and if I'm not running it like enough, it won't want to have enough juice to turn over to get enough gas into the carburetor to get it to finally fire off before it start running on its own. So this would have been perfect to use to demonstrate on that several months from now. but this unit here is up to 3-liter capacity, and since that is a V8 and we are Americans, we like our V8s to have pistons that are larger than a thimble, that displacement is too large for this particular unit. I'm sure they probably make different units of different sizes that would work great for that, but right now this is only up to 3 liters, so I put on the cruise, which is a 1.4. But yeah, I mean, that's all it is. It's that simple. It's currently charging itself up, and then when you start up, it'll charge it that quick, and it'll just sit there, and it's just there for when you need it. I mean, that's all it is. It's that simple. So like I said, from now on, when I go to start up the car, it'll draw from this before it touches this, and this should make this last even longer, because I don't know if you guys have bought a battery recently. They are obscenely expensive. Like even just a basic bitch lead acid battery, which used to be like 60, 70 bucks. I don't even know, like 15 years ago, even like for like a larger cold cranking amp, like 800 cold cranking amps, was like maybe 120. Even for the most basic of these now, it's like 250 bucks. That's absurd. So anything that can help save the money on that to make these last longer will just help you in the future. That's the way I look at it. But yeah, Ancel, I want to thank them for sending this out to me. If it is something that you want to check out on your own, I have a link to it down in the description to grab one on your own there. And now I'm just going to go about doing a little cable management here, because that's looking a little ugly for me. But yeah, that's all there is to it, guys. It's nothing more than this nice, quick, and simple little upgrade to hopefully help you save your batteries. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Like, comment, subscribe, and all this stuff, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I took a picture of it, but I figure I'll just show you on video real quick here. The cable management I did on my cruise, in case you decide to do the same sort of thing with the cruise here. And you sit. And it's been about 10 minutes, and it went from nothing to being fully charged. I'm not going to bother with the app. Like I said, I have no need for it, but so this should be ready to go. When I get in the car, it'll drain down from this before it even touches the battery, and then it'll just recharge right back up thanks to the alternator. But yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.